Kansas City RealTalk, brought to you by KCRAR. I'm Alex Gehring.
And I'm Bobbi Howe for one last time.
Oh, for one last time. Oh, my gosh.
I swore I wouldn't cry. I'm crying right out of the gate. Here we go.
One last time with Bobbi Howe. It's Bobbi's final episode as co-host.
That doesn't mean you won't ever have me on again, though, right?
No, probably not. I mean, I feel like you'll probably be a somewhat common guest. So let's talk really quickly about what you've got going on. You have a new big position. Some things that we probably all saw coming. Maybe.
I sure the heck didn't.
Oh,
just to be very, very clear with you.
Please.
So yes, it's August now. I don't even know how that's possible. My child just started school yesterday. He's a middle schooler. You guys, when we started this podcast, he was 5.
He would sit right over in that corner in the summers.
And he'd play on his iPad. And he was mostly good.
It was so cute. You can hear his voice in some earlier episodes a couple of times. I feel like that's a thing.
I've never listened to an episode, so I don't know.
I'm pretty sure we asked him a question about something that was going on.
Probably.
At some point. I have that memory.
Probably. So I'm starting to finish up my role as Missouri Realtor President. And
God, that did go fast.
It did go fast. I'm not even sure what's happening right now. But as of December 1st, I do have to resign my position as Missouri Realtors President, and I do have to turn down the immediate past president role for Missouri Realtors because I will be the Vice President of Association Affairs for the National Association of Realtors next year, which makes me officially an officer of NAR.
Oh, my goodness. And what does that mean, though?
It means I'm apparently fancy.
You're fancy.
I'm fancy. So NAR is divided into 2 sides. There's the Association Affairs side, which takes care of most your member engagement, consumer engagement, a bunch of the committees of NAR. The other side is advocacy, which we all know what advocacy is. So Association Affairs takes care of everything that's not advocacy. And so I will oversee 8 different liaisons, and then the liaisons each oversee anywhere between 3 to 10 committees within the National Association. I will be a spokesperson for the National Association, traveling all around the U.S., going and speaking at different associations and meetings, just doing whatever they need me to do.
And is this an appointed position?
This is an appointed position.
Who appointed you?
Next year's president, Kevin Brown, out of the great state of California, has appointed me to this position. So NAR technically has 4 elected officers and then 2 appointed officers. So I am one of the 2 appointed officers.
Wow.
Mm-hmm. I guess technically 5 because we have immediate past president who's just hanging out there. Next year will be Kevin Sears. After 2 years being full president, he'll be ready to be immediate past president. We have President Kevin Sears, first vice president of Christine Hansen, and then Kellen Milan will be next year, and then our treasurer, Craig Sanford, and then myself and Asa Fleming are the 2 appointed officers.
Awesome. Okay. All right. Well, we'll talk more about that, I feel like. But
yeah.
There's a long-standing tradition. Every episode that we've done together, you've had a book bit. So I'm really looking forward to the book bit that you've got for your final episode on the show that you got all teary-eyed for. So I know that it's going to be probably something really emotional and really heavy. And it's really going to tug at everybody's heartstrings. So I'm really looking forward to that.
So I didn't do my homework, and I totally forgot a book bit. I'm just going to start out by saying last week was a dumpster fire, and the fact that I'm even existing here today in this world with you is amazing in and of itself. So 100%, until I walked into this room and somebody said something about my book bit, it didn't even trigger me this morning while I'm getting up. I have an hour, 15-minute drive down here. Nope, didn't even come into. Nope, sure didn't.
Oh my goodness. Well, that's okay. That's all right. I told you before we were recording. We had this road trip, which we'll talk about another time. But I had since we were going through Missouri, I decided to reread some Mark Twain.
Oh,
which
I love
has
some
been
Mark Twain.
fun. So I'm currently rereading The Adventures of Tom Sawyer, which is way better now than it was when I read it at like 14 or whatever, because
You're being held hostage to read it anyways.
and also I didn't get any of the humor really.
Right.
I was just laboriously going through this book that my mom thought that I should read. It's amazing.
Yeah.
Like just fantastic.
Yeah.
So,
We make a trip to Mark Twain's birthplace,
Hannibal. Yeah.
every year to buy fireworks.
You drive all the way to Hannibal?
It's the world's largest fireworks store.
Of course it is.
I swear that it is.
It's a 4-hour drive.
From St. Joe, it's only 3 each way.
Still. You drive all the way to Hannibal to buy fireworks?
We drive 3 hours. We spend about 2 hours shopping.
Oh my
and we
gosh.
spend a significant amount of money.
And you eat it
and
like
literally, we don't eat. Well, now we do get food from the McDonald's on the drive back, because there's a McDonald's right there at the intersection.
Yeah.
To head back, and then we do the 3-hour drive back. It's always an 8-9 hour day to buy, and my Bronco is literally full of fireworks. So if we were to get into a wreck, it would be really exciting and fireworks going off everywhere.
Isn't there like a Maid-Rite that's in Hannibal that's like a fairly, and they've like branded it and like a Mark Twain? It's like a, yeah.
We go get the fireworks, get McDonald's, and we leave. That's what we do. And I don't know much else about Hannibal other than the world's largest fireworks store.
Wow.
But it's like 2 Nebraska Furniture Marts full of fireworks.
2 Nebraska Furniture Marts.
I guess just one, because the 2 levels. You bring it all down on one level though, and it's just fireworks. I don't even know. It's an adventure.
That's insane. Should we tell them a little bit about our guest today?
I don't know. They're pretty boring. I'm pretty embarrassed to even have them on as a guest, really.
We're going to be talking to
Our
Bobbi
standards
Howe
have gone
today.
downhill real quick.
We'll be talking to Bobbi Howe today. Should we go get Bobbi?
We should totally get
Okay.
me.
Yeah. All right.
I'm not talking to myself in the third person, dude.
We'll be right back. Welcome back to Kansas City Real Talk, brought to you by KCRAR. I'm Alex Gehring, and I am sitting here with Bobbi Howe, and Bobbi is in the hot seat, and we are going to have some podcast history quiz questions to see how Bobbi does.
And now that you've said it like that, I feel like this should be one of the hot ones, and we should be eating hot sauce on wings while doing this episode.
That would be really cool. Yeah.
Okay, I'm coming back on at some point in time, and we're
gonna rip off hot ones.
We're doing rip off hot ones. Yep. Or the 1 bite challenge. I could do either way.
Do you like spicy food?
I have grown to start enjoying spicy food. So I used to be a spice wimp, and now like my spice levels keep growing. So
I love spicy food. Spicy food is like and I love pressing my limits on that. Sarah recently ordered spicy chicken on something. I've never been more attracted to her in my life. And she is not a spice person at all, but she is like slowly accepting some black pepper and some paprika.
Oh.
And
wow, she is experimenting like crazy.
And like a touch of like this tiniest bit of cayenne, maybe, like just the tiniest bit. But then she'll still say that it's got a bite. Paprika has a bite. I don't get it.
My mom's put paprika on deviled eggs since I was like 4. That's how I've always had paprika.
Paprika's.
I didn't know it had a spice to it.
It's not really a spice.
Okay,
I mean it is.
I know it's a seasoning.
It's.
I didn't know it was a spice.
Yeah. Anyway, she's from Iowa. Here we go. I'm just saying they're known for putting butter on corn. They're known for hot dish.
Yeah,
it's corn, butter. Sometimes, I mean, if you put black pepper, you're jacking up the butter and the corn balance.
But the salt and the pepper to the ratio with the butter. Okay, sorry, we're sidetracked so far right now.
Okay.
But corn on the cob. Do you have little holders when you eat the corn on the cob, or you just straight up hold it with your hands?
No, you hold it with your hands. It gets up in your sleeves. You don't roll up your sleeves either. Like the juice flows down your wrists.
I wish you could see Amber's face right now behind you as you're doing this. It's fabulous.
You go full on savage. and just
No, I use holders. My mom always used holders growing up, and you put it in, then you hold the cord, and then it's not dripping all the way down your arms.
That's the bougiest nonsense I've ever heard in my life.
They're cheap. They're like 50 cents. It's not fancy.
Yeah, but you can't get a little bit of corn juice
my husband makes fun of me too.
It's
fine. It's fine. All right, get to these questions.
The weird part is the wrists. Because
it's just the drips.
It's not the hands. It's the dripping down the wrists.
So then do you rub it into your skin so like that it's moisture?
No, it's sticky.
Yeah, okay.
It's sticky. You can't do that.
Okay.
You have to take a shower.
Okay.
Yeah,
so you like to eat corn and then shower. Got it.
Sometimes I eat corn in the shower. Some people do shower beers. I do shower corn. All right, here we go.
Your podcast may be done after this episode. There may not be any coming back for this. It might just be done for everyone at this point.
Here we go.
All right, here we go.
Here's the history quiz. When did Kansas City RealTalk premiere, and who were our first guests?
Oh, I actually know this. Our first episode was November 13th, 2018.
Okay.
And Andrea Sheridan was on our first podcast, but there may have been someone else that I'm forgetting. But Andrea, I remember.
Yes. Who else might it have been? You can I'm
trying to guess who was over on the MLS side. Was it you? Was it Michael? Was it?
No, I'd say it's more obvious than
Kip
that.
Cooper?
Kip Cooper!
Kip Cooper!
All right, but here we go.
Sorry, Kip. My bad,
Should
bud.
we give it to her? Yeah. All right, we're going to give it to you. So it's November 14th.
Well, Apple Podcast, just for the record, says...
They get mixed up, so I don't even know which one is right. It could be 13,
okay.
it could be 14.
For the record, Apple Podcast says November 13th.
Okay, all right.
Look, I have it written down because I was doing my research last night trying to remember what guests we had. I didn't even know that would be a question, but I wrote down the date.
You wrote down the date. All right,
to be
here
clear,
we go.
they would not give me these questions ahead of time, and Alex is blocking me seeing his piece of paper with a box of Kleenex right now, so I can't even cheat if I wanted to.
From her tears from before in front of the pictures. So Andrea was the sitting president of KCRAR at that time. During that first episode, we mentioned that Bobbi will be KCRAR president-elect in 2019, about which you say, my exact role as president-elect is to...
I have no idea what I said there, and I have no idea what my role as president was, just to learn and to experience, to learn from Andrea.
If you were to answer that question now, right, like putting yourself back, what would you say? What would you say?
I have no idea what I would say. The president-elect role is just really just to observe and to absorb. I have no idea.
I mean, you're pretty close. You said that your exact role as president-elect is to do whatever Steve Moyer tells me to do.
Yeah, that's accurate.
Because Steve Moyer was the sitting president.
I do remember Steve. I do remember following behind Steve. I would have said whatever he tells me to do. Yeah.
There we go.
Yeah, that's
there
accurate.
we go. I like it. All right, here we go. On episode 2 of the show.
Oh, for the love of God.
You shared a story about crying over what celebrity?
Was it a new kid? Why would I cry over a celebrity? Did they die? I don't typically cry over celebrities when they die. Can you tell me, is this person still alive or dead?
No.
I believe he's still alive.
I think he's still alive.
It's a celebrity. Who would I have cried over? I have no idea. I'm going to go with Joey McIntyre.
Nope. No, it wasn't Joey McIntyre. It was Donnie Wahlberg.
I was right, though. It was a new kid.
It was a new kid. You had that.
I cried because he didn't come to the thing because
NAR.
Jenny McCarthy made him come back home and not go to the NAR thing. But Elizabeth Mendenhall gave me a ticket to go backstage, and I got to touch Mark Wahlberg's abs. So it was okay that I didn't get to meet Donnie because I got to touch Mark's abs.
Wow, you got to relive things from Boogie
And
Nights.
I said to Mark, you probably don't hear this very often, but I'd rather meet your brother than meet you. And he looked at me, he's like, yeah, I don't hear that very often.
All right, here we go. What was the first book you did for Bobbi's book bit?
The problem is I have a list of books, but they're in alphabetical order, not in podcast order. And I did look back at my book of books yesterday. My guess is it probably would have been 4 Disciplines of Execution. I teach a lot, but I don't know if that was my first book or not.
What's the first book alphabetically?
It starts with numbers at the top. So that's 5-second rule or something to that effect.
Oh, you're so close.
15 something.
It'd be the 10X rule.
Oh, the 10X rule. That's also teach from that one a lot too. Okay.
There we go. There we go. All right. Friend of the show, Jeff Carson, has appeared on numerous episodes of Kansas City RealTalk as both a guest and as a substitute host. When was his first appearance on the show?
I'm going to say it wasn't until 2019 because we only had 3 episodes in 2018. I do know that much.
What was the third episode?
I can't remember. It was probably Crazy Stories. I don't know. I believe there was 3 in 2018, though. I'm going to go April 21st, 2019.
It was episode 3.
Oh, really?
December 2018.
But look, I knew there was 3 episodes in 2018.
You did know that there were 3 episodes in 2018. I will say, Bobbi knew way more than I would have if I wasn't looking at this at the answers right here.
Oh, I really? By episode 3, we already had a
episode 3.
Was he our guest?
He was our guest. We brought him in.
That was a trick.
To talk
okay.
Advocacy. Yep. And so
that makes sense.
So it was our first advocacy episode.
Okay. Fair. I was thinking of from a filling in perspective, not interviewing him. And that's where he first got the taste of the bug that he likes doing this.
That's true. But you know what? I don't think he filled in for quite a while. I feel like the first time he filled in might have been I think that was maybe during COVID.
That's what I couldn't remember. I was trying to figure out how long out to stretch that. But no, episode 3, he was a guest. Okay.
There we go.
Fair.
Right. Let's move into I'm just going to look deep into your eyes.
Are you still asking questions or are you interviewing me?
No, I'm interviewing.
Are we done with history?
We're done with history.
Okay, thank God.
You passed the history
well, not really. I kind of halved it.
Oh my gosh. No, I was impressed. You obviously did a little bit of homework before you
But I didn't even know I needed to do homework. I was just trying to memorize. I was trying to go back
You're reminiscing.
Reminisce. That's the word I was looking for. I reminisce on some of the past because it's 7 years, yo.
It's 7 years. Okay, so we talked about Alex. So let's talk Alex, your son. I mean, okay.
Yeah,
so
Alex the kid.
He was 5 when we started.
Yep.
And like we mentioned, I remember him sitting a couple of episodes, kind of the first summer that we were doing it, just sitting in the corner back there, hanging out on his iPad.
Yep.
Right. Okay. So 7 years have gone by. Alex is now 12 years old.
Almost 13.
Almost 13 years old. He's getting close. He's 5 years away from being eligible to get a real estate license.
Oh, no.
So that's,
No.
So that was my question.
No.
No.
To the no.
Okay.
To
talk
the
to me about that.
Heck no.
Talk to me about that.
So if we take a trip back in time to Bobbi's history, Bobbi got into real estate when she was 8 years old, writing contracts when she was 12 or 10, and got her real estate license on her 18th birthday. While I am so very, very thankful for this industry and the opportunities that have come my way, on some level I have felt guilted into being in this industry, at least early on. Today I would choose it again. But the guilt that I felt as a senior in high school and all through college, and then even after graduating from college, to come help someone else out in their business, and I didn't want to be a part of it, that I won't do that to my child. Should he choose to go into this industry, 100% I will support him, 100% give him the tools and build him up as much as I can, but I am not going to guilt him into joining me in this industry just because of the highs, the lows. We don't turn it off ever. It's as much as I would like to say that I turn everything off at 7:00 at night. I had a seller get back to me. We had 4 offers on a property yesterday. Seller got back to me at 9:00. I'm reaching out to the agent. She doesn't get back to me till 11:00 last night. We're having to deal with offers whenever they're there, and I don't want that for my son. Yeah. I want him to be able to disconnect from time to time. But I am grateful that I'm here. I just don't wish that upon my child.
I get that. I do. What do you think he thinks about what you do?
I think he thinks it's crazy. I think he also finds it fascinating, though. I think he thinks it's really cool, the things we do and the way we help people, because we literally change their lives. Yeah. And I don't ever take that for granted. It's like every single day we realize the fact that right now, for instance, we have a seller that we met with on Friday afternoon. He bought the house 4 years ago. He bought it very, very well. It's on Lover's Lane in St. Joe, which is made famous by the poet Eugene Field. He wrote poems about Lover's Lane, and it's just a beautiful little area in St. Joe. And then he sunk his life savings into fixing it up. He ran into some medical problems. He lost his job because of the medical problems. They continued on. He got a new job, and then got fired almost immediately from the new job because of his medical problems. He had to file for bankruptcy so he wouldn't lose his house. And he now recognizes that I probably need to cash out of this home. I don't know if I'm ever going to work again. And I don't even know if I can get approved for a rental right now because I have no income, because I have all these medical issues. And we have an opportunity to help this man to get enough proceeds that he can then purchase another home for cash. Won't be nearly the same type of home he has now, but we can help save the rest of his life. Like, you just hear the depression in his voice. I don't have anybody. I don't have anywhere to go. I don't know what to do. And we have the opportunity to truly help someone in one of their greatest moments of need by leveraging their biggest financial asset that they have. And I don't take that lightly, what we do. And I think that Alex understands that.
That's good.
Yeah.
That's really good. I think I think about this quite a bit because so Charlie is 7 now, and then Margot's 3. She's insane. And then Aurora doesn't hardly count because you can't really have a conversation with a 1-year-old as it turns out. You can have a conversation with my 3-year-old.
Yeah.
But Charlie is this is a super old soul, it feels like. And she and I talk a lot about work.
Yeah.
She asks me like how my day was and all of these things. And she's so quick to make friends. And I often sit there and I'm like, I try to decide whether or not I'm excited about the idea that maybe one day she'd want to get into this business.
Yeah.
And I don't know how I feel about it at all. Like, regardless of what she's capable of and that kind of stuff, I don't know how I feel about one of my children getting into business.
Yeah.
I didn't feel guilted into obviously we had two very different trajectories. I don't have that experience. But even still, I would be hesitant to like push or encourage real estate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was a conversation we had amongst our team either last night or some night over the weekend, was that the people in real estate are just built a little differently.
It's true.
We have to be, or else you're not going to make it in this industry if you're not built to have tough skin and be able to press through and just keep moving forward, even with fires shooting up all around you.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So in the last 7 years, there have been a ton of changes, obviously huge industry changes, lots of personal changes that both of us have experienced, lots of different things that have changed. Over the last 7 years, one thing that has been constant has been this podcast, actually. But what has been the biggest thing that has changed for you in the last 7 years?
My honest answer, discovering freedom.
Yeah.
When we first started this podcast, I was in a role that I didn't quite ever understand, but that I wanted to be so much more than what it was. And I just kept pushing through, hopeful that the answers would come. And I just realized it was too much for me to take on for me personally, given the fact that I had a young family at the time. And it was located so far away from home that I could not give both my family and the position the time that each of them deserved. And to be clear, the position needed more than 40 hours a week. Like, it needed somebody that could be in there 80, 90 hours a week to really do everything at the fullest level. And I didn't want to I was willing to give it the 40. I was willing to give it 60. I just could not take more time away from my family. From there, that led me into the next opportunity that I had, where I had almost too much freedom. And it was wonderful and it was great, but I need to be busy. I can't have too much freedom. I can't have too much slow time, or else I will just do nothing and I will get lazy, which led me into the next role that I had. That I was thinking about this yesterday. I would go back and take that last role that I had before what I'm doing now. I would do it over again. It was stressful. It brought a lot onto my plate, but it led me to what I'm doing now. I don't think that I would be where I am now, doing what I am now, had I not taken that opportunity, because it made me switch brands and it made me get back to what felt like home to me, which then led to the opportunity now of being able to own an office, which I never in a million years would have thought that I was an owner of an office. And then I just joined, we created a team with the #1 solo agent in Missouri last year. I'm the listing specialist. We brought on a buyer specialist. We already had a transaction coordinator, and then we have our team leader. We just created that team very early in June. And this is what I've been looking for probably the last decade, quite frankly. And it just feels so good. Now, it doesn't mean that we're not stressed out all the time and having problems left and right.
Yeah.
But it's my role in this industry that I've been looking for the entire time. And it took all those other things happening to lead to now and for me to appreciate it.
Yeah.
So
that's quite the journey, because really what it sounds like is the thing that you're looking for is to be on the field, in the field.
It is.
And
I need to be in the field. It's what I've been doing since I was a child. And that's when I got pulled out and was trying to help other people be in the field. I kept missing it. But it wasn't doing it on my own. It was doing it with a group of people. And it's so much more awesome sharing it with other people and just having other people to lean on and not just constantly taking all of it on myself and just knowing we can spread it out amongst ourselves.
It's a beautiful thing. So you sticking with the theme of freedom, because that's a pretty big journey. When you first thought that you were finding freedom, what did that look like? What was it? So where were you trying to be free from initially?
So what I discovered is that I've spent a lot of this last 7 years building up someone else's dream and someone else's future at not necessarily the expense of mine, but it put my dreams on hold for a while. And now working in conjunction with a team, yes, I'm still helping someone else build their dreams and build their futures, but I'm very clear correlation between the things that I do and my future and my freedom and what that next evolution looks like for me. And we're working in conjunction together. And I think that that's one of the problems in my last roles before this was I was just being thrown into the action and told, go figure it out. But there wasn't a figure out button to it. And because of that, I got sidetracked and pulled into the weeds. And now it's very clear, start line, finish line, and we just keep going towards it. And I am so very, very thankful. But I think I needed those other opportunities because I grew and I learned. Like I'm not really great at giving myself compliments. I'm really great at deflecting on compliments, but I recognize now that I have a lot of knowledge that I can use in a lot of different areas based on the last 3 roles I had before I was doing what I'm doing now. And when I have conversations with clients now, I just hear things coming out of me that I didn't even know that I knew, sort of thing. Like there's some I've forgotten more than I even know right now, sort of thing. But I'm just very grateful for all those opportunities that have led me to where I am now.
So with that change, are you going to be doing speaking as well? Are you going to continue on your speaking circuit?
Yeah, I will continue somewhat on my speaking circuit, though for the next year I will, while I'm in my role for the National Association, I have to pull back on some level because there are some policies in place in regards to me speaking, receiving a fee for that.
Do you have to read from a teleprompter? Is it like a requirement?
So we have Leadership Week is in Chicago, I guess right after this episode comes out. It's August 11th and 12th. And yes, there will be a teleprompter, but a week prior to that, I received all of the scripting, and 2 to 3 times a day, I'm reading through it so that I can utilize the teleprompter as little as possible while I'm on stage. And I will continue. I don't like reading from a teleprompter, but some of these were it's just so much information. You can never memorize all of it. And they're not because the slides are behind you. Like there's no looking at the slides and seeing them to know your prompts of going forward. So I will memorize as much as I can to make it conversational while I'm on stage. But yes, there will be a teleprompter in the back of the room.
I will say that is one of the things about these about conferences. Like, it's just sometimes miserable. And it isn't the leadership's fault.
No.
But when they get up to say stuff that somebody else wrote from them. Yeah. And Kevin Sears is really funny about it, too, because he'll just be like, scroll.
Yeah.
Like he'll be on stage and something will go on with the teleprompter. He's like, I'm not going to say that part. Scroll. Please scroll. And he's just so direct
But
about
there's
it.
people in the room who are still completely oblivious to those huge monitors at the back of the room that has the word in like 110 font or whatever size it is. Yes.
Well, I think that the authenticity piece is really important for the association.
It is.
It's always been important for the association.
But I will say this, for the National Association, we're finding our voice now more than ever. Nakia continues to bring on the right employees, and we just brought on 2 new communication specialists, and just even the difference in the last month that they've been on our team to prior is you're going to see a lot more conversational pieces coming out from us. You're going to see us acting more like humans and not just leadership robots that are up on a stage doing stuff. It's going to be more, it's going to feel more genuine because it truly is more genuine. And we're bringing people from outside the industry. Actually, the main new comms guy, Bennett Richardson is his name, and I love him. He's super smart. He's actually one of the co-founders of Hinge. And he worked at Google and a whole bunch of other places coming to us. But even just something as Hinge and relationships, building relationships between people, and what does that look like? And using that for us to build relationships with our members. Like, it's not just, oh, haha, it's Hinge. Like, no, there actually is some stuff we can use with that, with our members and with the consumers as a whole.
So let me ask you this. So the last 10 years, obviously, leadership in the National Association has had like a number of evolutions, right? We'll say. And I'm curious, and I really don't know the answer. I'm curious how you have been in sales. You've been a team lead for an office. You've owned an office. You managed a large franchise operation, not a large franchise, but the whole franchise operation.
7 states, 240 offices.
Right. Now back to sales, right, and still franchise ownership.
Yep.
How does...
There was some coaching in there too
There's
somewhere.
Coaching, yeah, that's right. That's right.
Coaching somewhere in there.
Coach, speaker, plus association leadership. So it's a lot of different, lots of hats, a lot of different levels, and a lot of different experiences in the industry. How does, I'm going to kind of force yourself maybe to give yourself a compliment. How does your level of experience compare to other people that have taken on that National Association leadership journey?
Yeah. I would say my experience is extremely comparable. And it's weird to me because I still view myself as Bobbi Joe from St. Joe. And, we merged associations, KCRAR and St. Joe in 2015, 2016, somewhere in that time. But on some level, I still feel like I'm Bobbi from the tiny little 240 member association in St. Joe. And how am I able to have the influence that I do at the national level? And it amazes me some days that I'm there, this new role that I'll have as Vice President of Association Affairs from NAR. I believe I'm only the 4th person from Missouri to ever be a Vice President for the National Association and the only person from the Kansas City area. And that's just absolutely mind-blowing to me. And then I do stack up my experience versus their experience, and I realize, I'm right there with them, and we have those same levels of experience. And there might even be some people that I have a little bit more experience than, but we're all using those experiences together to better it for everyone else. And that's what I love, is that we have a very collaborative group. We have a huddle every single Thursday at 8:30 a.m., all hands on board, and then a variety of other Zooms and meetings we do throughout the week. But that Thursday, 8:30 is a non-negotiable where we all come together as a team every single Thursday to work together, and I absolutely love it.
When you're at that level, what do you do to make sure that you're still, so that level being the National Association, what do you do to make sure that you're still hearing the voice of the agents on the field? Number one, you're obviously going to be in the field, and I understand that. But how do you make sure that you're still hearing from what we view as your constituents.
Yeah. So, being very much in the field right now in St. Joe and getting feedback from people and even within Kansas City, but it's also staying engaged on social media and understanding where our members are at. We had on the MLS, I believe it was July 22nd-ish, somewhere around there, we had to all change our passwords on MLS, and everyone was real cranky about having to, I've had my password, I got to change my password. But what's interesting to me is that in early mid-August, there's people getting on social media complaining about having to change their password, and I'm realizing, oh, you've not been in the MLS since July 22nd. You haven't signed. Yeah. And you're also diming yourself out to all of the other people in your market. Yeah. But it's understanding that that's where our members are. As someone, and I don't mean this to sound, I don't even know how it's going to sound, so I'm not going to put an adjective with it, is that as someone who's now really involved at the state level, obvi because I'm state president, and then moving on to the national level, I'm not as engaged at the local level because there's only so much of me. But I'm also starting to understand what the average member that never engages with the local, state, or national, what they feel about the local, how often do I feel like I'm hearing from the local? What am I seeing from them? Do I even know what's going on, right now? And I try to talk to the leaders of what's going on, but I don't always follow up with that. And so it's just, I have a better understanding of the average member and what the local feels like to them. And then that helps me understand what we need to do at the state and national level. And I will come back and be engaged at the local as soon as I can. There's only so much of me to go around. But I do send messages to the people in the, our local. I deal probably more with the KCRAR side than I do the Heartland MLS side with that group of people. But hey, I heard this, or hey, I thought that. Just because we need to keep moving things, and we can't stay in silos.
It's not as though people don't know you and don't know how to get a hold of you.
Yeah. They know where to find me. But I also feel the need to tell them the things I'm seeing because maybe they're not seeing the same things.
Of course.
One of the things. It was a couple weeks ago, we were down in Columbia for some Missouri Realtor meetings, but at the same time, Governor Kehoe was signing a couple of bills in Missouri. And so myself and some staff and Jennifer Langston Justice, we took a trip over to Jeff City while the governor signed the bill, and then we posted that.
Pretty awesome.
It was really awesome, and they were two great bills, as far as landlords' rights, and the other one was making realtors have to have the same, or the real estate professionals, people who are not realtors, follow basically the same terms of the settlement that realtors already had to follow, but that's a state law now. Those were two great bills. And I remember, posted it on social media and mostly good feedback because as it should be. And there was one person that said, it's pretty sad you don't stand for us anymore. And I was like, excuse me? Like what? But that's sometimes how some of the average members, they just don't even understand. I even know that Missouri is the first state to eliminate the capital gains tax. And there are people in our industry that are mad about that. And I'm like, why are we mad about that? That will hopefully get some of these people that have been sitting in their home 30, 40 years to get them to now sell their home because they didn't want to pay capital gains before. Right. And we're working at the national level right now really closely with the current administration to eliminate it on the federal level as well. And we're starting to get
getting traction on that.
Yeah,
he commented on it a couple weeks ago. I mean,
so but it's just disheartening sometimes that people don't understand the good things that we're doing and they just want to bring it back down.
Absolutely. No, and I think that's something that you're always going to deal with. And in a sense, you're kind of in middle management.
Yeah.
And you really are. I mean, you've got to be able to communicate up and communicate down, and that's kind of the nature of a role like that. All right, well, let's talk about the future of the industry.
Oh,
I know. We should talk about the future of the industry. I think it's important.
You're a Nostradamus more than I am.
I am not a Nostradamus at all, and in fact, I try not to be in this day and age because nobody has any idea what's going on. But nonetheless, I think that it's important.
Let's take some guesses.
I don't want to take any guesses necessarily. In fact, the fact that we shouldn't take guesses might be a perfectly acceptable response. But there are so many things that are rapidly evolving. You look at artificial intelligence, and I'm certainly somebody that uses it. Right, I appreciate it as a tool. You've got a lot of people that are very scared of it. I think that most people should probably be scared of it to some degree so that you're responsible with it and we can try to do something reasonable with it. But my question is, how do you feel the industry as a whole is going to work through the changes that are coming from a technological standpoint? Soon, it's possible that computers, right? Like, we're not talking like anything crazy, existential, right? I mean, like, just computers could look very different in general. How are we going to navigate that?
We're going to navigate it the same way we've navigated every other technological change that has come to this industry since I've been a part of it. I got into real estate 1986. Interest rates were 18%. We didn't really have computers in this industry whatsoever. We had a thing called the land disk that was this big machine that was back in a room, and there was this big, huge binder by address, and you would look up the address of the property, and then you would put in this code into this thing called the land disk, and it would make up this blurry black and white photo of the exterior of the home, so you'd have an idea of what the house looked like. And then you hit a little button, and on thermal fax paper, it would print out this little bitty photo, and you would tear it out, and you would take it with you. Contracts were 1-page carbon copy, 4 copies. Everybody got a different colored copy based on what they were doing. Flyers for houses. You made a black and white copy, and then you went to the 24-hour place and you got like 24 color copies of your main outside photo, and you would glue stick that to the flyer, and then you would glue stick business cards down in the bottom corner, and that's what you would put in the house as your property flyers. We have managed to completely change the way that we did. Also, books, the real estate books, they came out once a month, but once a week you got a hot sheet. You only knew the new listings once a week, and then you got a full book of everything once a month. We have navigated through all of those changes to the technology we're using now. We will continue to navigate through those changes, whatever the technology looks like. And we're always going to have our people that run to that new technology, like yourself, and are excited to try it. And those people that are going to be held back, kicking and screaming, I don't want to. I mean, like, I remember back in St. Joe, this was a huge deal, when we went to electronic lock boxes and you had to have a smartphone so you could open it up. And we still had a significant number of our membership at that time, which this was mid-2000s, 2010-ish, still using flip phones, and they were like wanted to sue the association because they had to have a smartphone to access lock boxes. Like, what? I remember 3 people specifically who wanted to sue the association because they didn't want to give up their flip phone and have a smartphone just to be able to open lock boxes. I'm sorry, that's your sign you need to exit the industry. So we are going to continue to have people that run towards the new technology and those people who kick and scream, and the rest of us that just kind of like, you ran to AI, and I'm just now slowly getting there because what I was doing, I didn't have a need for it. And now I'm finding ways to use it that I didn't even realize I could use it. Mm-hmm. It does worry me somewhat, these energy centers and all of the draining of energy that these data centers are using. That concerns me, but I'm going to use it still. I just don't use it for everything.
And we could talk about it offline, but my biggest concern is really intellectual property and some other things. But anyway, all right, last 2 questions, podcast related. Here we go. You ready? If you could pick a past guest of the show to be your personal life coach, who would you pick?
So that one was this is a question that Amber was kind enough to provide to me ahead of time. I'll be honest. And so I really spent a lot of time thinking about it. And I realized we've had some guests on this show who have literally changed the real estate industry as we know it. Judy Johns from here in Kansas City. Elizabeth Mendenhall, who was an NAR president and went through LogoGate. She tried to change the NAR logo when she was NAR president. Nikia Wright, who's now come into being the CEO of the National Association, and I truly believe she'll change the face of our industry. And even my past boss, Dennis Curtin, who bought the very first RE/MAX franchise from Dave Liniger when Dave Liniger didn't even know what a franchise was. Had Dennis never made that call to say, I want to buy a franchise, who knows where that company would be nowadays. But if I had to go back and pick just one of those people, because I'm a Libra, and even though I don't believe in horoscopes, I can never make a decision to save my life. I'm the scales weighing things back and forth. Honestly, I would probably pick Judy Johns. And the reason why I would pick Judy, and I don't know that everyone knows this, is in real estate, one of the most read books in real estate is MREA, The Millionaire Real Estate Agent. And yes, that is mostly connected with Gary Keller and KW, but people at all brands read this book. And Judy was one of the 200 initial people interviewed. And it was some of the things based on her systems and her processes that built up the systems and the processes at that franchise that then transformed the entire industry. So I think good old Kansas City girl, Judy Johns, would be my life coach. And I love her so much.
All right. What is your favorite memory? What's your most memorable moment with Alex on the show?
With you.
With me.
So I thought about that. I thought about some guests that we had on. But honestly, I think one of the most memorable moments is we were down in, we were in Kansas City. We were in a hotel room and we interviewed one of the NAR presidents in a bedroom suite at a big table. And well, anytime we go on off site and, we record at Recharge or we do whatever, but I still remember this NAR president who came to the hotel suite we were in and we sat at this big table and we did our podcast recording there. And that's probably one of my most memorable moments from recording a podcast.
Yeah, that's definitely one. That's funny. That's not something that I was thinking about, but yeah, that's one for a variety of reasons.
And I will say that the one that I learned the most from, though, was the one that we had on Landgate with Greg Kaiser, and he talked about mineral and energy rights.
Oh, yeah, that was crazy.
I feel like I learned so much on that podcast.
Amber booked that. We were like, what the hell is this? What are we talking about?
And even I think while we were doing it, I'm like, what is going on? But I learned so much during that podcast. And final shout out to our Dividing Line episodes with Dante Littlejohn and Ernest Hawkins. That will always forever be a favorite of mine. So
very good.
Again, I can't pick just one.
All right, we have to ask the most important question, and that's your question. What else? What should I have asked you that we didn't already talk about?
I feel like we've talked about everything. I have no idea what else we could possibly talk about because I talk all the time on this darn podcast. Just don't forget about me. That's all. Don't forget about me. I'm still around. I'm still doing stuff.
Don't forget about me.
Yeah.
Okay. I don't think we will. Yep. I don't think we will. Well, Bobbi, it has been an absolute pleasure doing this with you for the last 7 years. When we had this idea and Amber was like, well, we should get a co-host.
Yep.
It should be a female co-host, maybe from another part of the city, maybe from a different brand. I'm like, Bobbi Howe. And she's like, that's what I was thinking about. And I'm like, oh.
You should have just said that to begin with. You played the game well, though, Alex. Good job. You won that quiz.
It was amazing. Well, and it's been incredible. So it's been so fun to get to know you and to do this with you and to meet people because of you, because it's important to realize that so many of the guests that we've had during this show have come from Bobbi's long list of industry friends.
They all owe me favors. It's fine.
I've gotten to know people that I wouldn't have ever gotten to know as a result of doing this with you. So I love you, and I have loved doing this with you, and thank you.
No, thank you for this. And also, just so you know, I'm watching. There was a list of the top 100 Kansas City podcasts that came out recently. We're right at number 50, and I'm putting it on you to bring it up to 25.
Oh, okay, up to 25.
Bring it up to 25.
There we go. We can do it. All right.
Thank you.
Thank you, Bobbi.